Hey, this is number 2, and just putting this up. Not that I'm too concerned about my feelings, but it's kind of how I feel a lot of the time. Okay, Forrest Fenn, also in The Thrill of the Chase, it says, "To the Caliph, I am the dirt, but to the dirt, I am the Caliph." Meaning things are opposite of what they seem, depending on the point of view. I determined that this chase would require me to look at things differently than I was accustomed accustomed to. With that in mind, I turned up the canyon, believing that the phrase "take the canyon down" meant to go in a southern direction, and downward can be southern, or there's a lot of definitions of down if you look up the word "take the canyon down." And I believe Forrest Fenn had, well, of course, he had his rules, and he had I guess 109 rules, and that's a hint to the number 10. But I believe he had rules for how this chase ran and how he gave clues. So that's something to think on. Uh, Furthermore, it goes the book Journal of a Trapper contains several hints. It was written by Osborne Russell and edited by Aubrey L. Hines. Just a side note that will mean a lot more later in my find. Haynes was the first historian of Yellowstone and the person who created my map of choice for the Mammoth Hot Springs Cemetery. In Journal of a Trapper is exactly what its title describes. A trapper who kept a journal. Additionally, this trapper trapped in Yellowstone. Uh, trap Trappers trap beaver. This led me to interpret the home of Brown as a beaver pond. An old definition of Brown literally means beaver. Google Earth helped me to find that Gardner Canyon indeed had beaver ponds. In The Thrill of the Chase, there is another chapter titled "Looking for Lewis and Clark." In it, Forrest and his friend Donnie go camping, but Donnie has important things to do in town and insisted that we go out of the wilderness. So I deduced that the opposite was to put in town. This logic took me to Mammoth Hot Springs, which was formerly a town in Yellowstone. So if we're following the poem, I've explained: begin at where warm waters halts our people and take it in the canyon down, not far but too far to walk, so the distance is within 10 miles is my interpretation, and put in below the home of Brown. And we just covered that with the beavers being the beaver pond being the home of Brown, and put into Mammoth Hot Springs is to go out of the wilderness. The poem continues. Um, from there, it's no place for the meek. I discovered that Joseph Meek was another trapper in the area. Additionally, people have been killed by Indians standing right in the doorway of Mammoth Hot Springs Motel. Indeed, that town is no place for the meek. Switching back to the poem, I concentrated on "the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high." My interpretation first took me to Osprey Falls. I theorized that Forrest Fenn had driven the utility road and hiked the rest, which is about a mile, but I quickly overcame that thought process, and then I had to come back. And I'm not going to give you all my stories. I'm just going to follow where my conclusion came because there was a lot of errors in my attempt to discover the end. It took me, you know, multiple tries to figure out where I was going to end up. So we'll go from there. But some of the things I figured I was in the right area because all of the clues in the book fit Mammoth Hot Spring. Your destiny is small, but its location is huge. That's a mammoth. And so many searchers are stomping on ants while elephants are running by. That's Forrest Fenn quote. And and ants are soldiers to me, and soldiers. Um, anyway, and Forrest Fenn quotes some other things. In fact, there are quite a few scrap books that talk about elephants or mammoth. There are a lot of elephants, mammoth pictures in the books too. There is a picture that with an elephant in the back of Too Far to Walk. If you look on that cover on the back of Too Far to Walk, you can actually make out an elephant where Forrest Fenn's standing by his wagon, and they're all clues, and that actually gives you a clue to Mammoth Hot Spring. On page 97 of the Thrill of the of or in on page 97 of Too Far to Walk, in the chapter Remnants of the Past, Forrest talks about Mammoth. Plus, outside a museum, Forrest Fenn had one of the largest Clovis point collections in the world. Clovis points are the only prehistoric weapon that would kill a mammoth. The name of the spring, along with specific landmarks, fits perfectly in my mind. I also saw several clues supporting Mammoth Hot Springs in documentation. Uh, I then came across an article by E.C. Walters, The Case for Yellowstone. I had some different ideas, and he had some different ideas, but together our ideas lined up perfectly. Uh, the post was written in 2016 as part of a blog. I had already come to those conclusions before I found the post, but it confirmed my thoughts, and I might go ahead and read the whole article because or I'll just put a picture of it, and you guys can take the time to read it if you'd like. I hope he doesn't. E.C. Walters, I think his name's Mike, but I hope he doesn't mind. Uh, and it was on Del Neitzel's webpage, which is no longer there. But I'll just go ahead. It goes, please keep in mind, I've made a living in the IT space of text mining. Each of my search areas have started this way, using logic and probabilities to get me excited about the search area. The probabilities are now significant enough to me that Mammoth Hot Springs is my target area. The following are my proposed word correlations. In the preference, F includes in Ernest Tubbs' lyrics as a poem compiled life to a game of poker, potentially alluring to Joker Springs. Little Joker Springs was named by Albert C. Pill. There is a Pill Island in Yellowstone Lake named after Albert Pill. And Fenny was just talking about this area too. Forrest suggests we read the poem over and over and read the book for nuances. One such nuance has hit me. The word pill is another word for paddle. The word pill is a term used in bell ringing. F had a whole chapter on bronze bells created dancing with the millennium. The word pill is also used to describe laughter. F has said, paraphrasing, he envisions the finder of the chest to laugh out loud when they see the content. F used the word appeal at least 3 times throughout his book, including the history appealed to me after describing the bracelet he wanted back. He described the 22 turquoise disc beads set side by side in a row, like in a row, like rolling. When Forrest described the bracelet he wanted to return, he refers to winning it in 1965 from Baron Harvey, the son of Fred Harvey, the motel magnate. Fred Harvey's business had evolved into, was acquired by Anters, yeah, the company that manages various concessions and hotels in various locations, including inside Yellowstone and Mammoth Hot Springs. Anyway, I'm just going to put the whole article in print and you can read it. So we'll go from there, but it has a lot of great ideas. Here's a picture of Mammoth Hot Spring. It's an older picture, and it has the Mammoth lodge, swimming pool. It's got garages. It was quite a city back in the Forrest Fenn days. There's a picture. Anyway, here's the article. I don't know if there's really, a lot of people aren't putting a lot of time into this because there's no real searchers left, hardly, but there probably are. Don't mean to offend anybody. Anyway, you can actually, take pictures of this and your phone will turn it into print, and then you can have your phone read it to you. Probably do a better job than me. Anyway, so I'm just going down. Whoa. And there it is. I'll do it one more time, see if I can do it a little better. So back to the beginning here. And then we go in mine. My war for me. There we go. Another place. And then go the use of. Well, there's your 3 pictures. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you read this, you get a lot of great things out of it that kind of help me know that I was in the right place. And there's tons more. He doesn't cover them all. I mean, it goes on and on and on, like, capital cities that he mentioned. I mean, anyway, I'll go over some more of this in my next videos. And that's all for this one. Thanks.